Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're discussing Love Island Games episode 15 and 16. I will be covering both back to back because the finale is tonight and we need to catch up. Hands down, episode 15 was the best episode of this entire season. Garbi single-handedly gave us the best performance. Top tier. Top tier. I am so proud of her. So this episode, there was a lot going on, from chaos, betrayals, straight up clownery from beginning to end. Let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's just dive into it. All right, so with episode 15, the villa is split. Nicola and Kendall have been eliminated from the competition. The power squad is celebrating. They decide to call a meeting together. Of course, it's led by Johnny. And Andrea attempts to join. Andrea got curved. That was so embarrassing. The power squad are discussing, mainly Toby, Tyreek, and Johnny are discussing how the numbers are in their favor, therefore they can control the game. So while the power squad, they're gloating, Josh and Andrea are talking about how they think everyone's jealous of them. Okay. I don't think it's the connection. I think it's more that they are a physical threat to the competition. Josh wants to win power couple to force Toby and Tyreek to go into a duel. I would love to see that for myself. Then he calls out what everyone noticed, that Tyreek is skating off to the final. And I agree with him. We don't really know what Tyreek is physically capable of. We know he's Mr. Tactician. He's Mr. Mind Games. He's good with schemes and strategizing. But when it comes to physical gameplay, we don't know. So he is going to be skating his way to the finals. Okay, so now we have Lucinda and Garbi. Instead of Lucinda giving Garbi the floor to talk about Kendall, of course, she makes this entire conversation about herself, talking about, I'm going to miss Kendall. Lucinda asks if Garbi will couple up with Casey. Garbi refuses to share her plans, knowing that she's on the other side. When I say I was so proud of Garbi for that, she shut it all the way down. When it comes to Lucinda, I'm just trying to figure out if she's one of those girls who are territorial when it comes to her male best friends, or maybe perhaps it's just her inner pick-me that needs male attention and validation. And honestly, I don't even think that she likes Kendall like that. I think she just wants male attention and validation. All right, so now we have a showdown in the kitchen. Isaiah and Josh. Josh confronts Isaiah about switching sides. Isaiah mentions that Josh never included him in any of the strategy talks. He mainly just spoke to Chris, which is true. Josh reminds him that we were friends before all of this. He thought he had his back. He warns Isaiah that he is just a piece of meat when it comes to the other alliance, and they'll definitely be dropping him soon. Lucinda interrupts to cool things down. This entire scene was intense. It was hilarious. And Josh talking about, is this your coming out party? Do you want me to pull you for a chat? Hilarious. And to be honest, I can see both sides. The number one thing that's missing when it comes to Josh is his social game. He mainly relies on his physical attributes and how well he can perform in competition, which is definitely an objective of this game. But he's missing the mark of when it comes to having social alliances. And that unfortunately has tainted his game. And when it comes to Isaiah, he is mute as a mouse. He is observing, he's listening, he is watching everything. And that's a strategy. Strategy is to be on stealth mode and paying attention to everything and strike when the iron is hot. And I think throughout this entire game, when it comes to the guys, the best communicators have been Johnny, followed by Toby and Tyreek. Josh is growing on me. This entire scene took me out, but it's not going to end well for him. Later on, we get a quick scene of Johnny and Josh are talking. They're talking strategy. Johnny tells Josh that he wasn't gunning for him, but we already know his goal was to take out Andrea and Josh as the strongest couple. I low-key wish that both of them actually got together in the beginning of the game, but there's too many egos in the room. Johnny admits that he is being used as a weapon, but plans to strike later. He warns Josh that Toby and Tyreek, neither one of them won't make it to the finale. But at the end of the day, it's too late for all that. Johnny has been playing solely with them. Even though Johnny is admitting now that he should have been aligned to Josh, if he was smart, he should have definitely been having those gameplay and alliance conversation, especially when Josh was coupled up with Justine. He then talks about that He's worried about Justine pulling another blindside, but I already know who's getting my vote. Toby tells Sydney that he's unsure that she can win duels. Instead of her just saying like, yeah, let's do this, let's practice, let's focus, we're going to win this. Instead of talking gameplay, she's just talking about that he's going to protect her, that he allows her to rest in her femininity. Girl, this is the wrong show. This is a game show. Sydney actually asks Toby if he's going to protect her, and he then says that he can only protect himself. So this scene between Sydney and Toby is definitely foreshadowing what's to come. Tyreek and Toby are in the sauna. Toby tells Tyreek that Sydney isn't strong enough to win duels against the other girls. Facts. Then Toby talks about that he wants to consider Garbi as an option. Toby pulls Garbi for a chat. Toby apologizes about the Judas kiss, and he begins talking about testing waters when it comes to coupling up. This proposal was an instant fail. Garbi calls out the BS immediately. She called him, you Judas B to his face. Honestly, this entire scene was funny. I'm not mad at Toby trying to partner up with Garbi. He's trying to find a means to his end. But at the same time, if he really wants to be strategic, he should have been having these conversations with her earlier, especially noticing after she was winning all these duels back to back. And at this point, to try to use her to skate to the finale when you've made poor decision making this entire season, he has no one but to blame but himself. So Garbi runs over to Casey and gives him the tea about what happened. Garbi refused to partner up with Toby. They agree to make sure they couple up in the next ceremony, the next recoupling ceremony. Garbi decides that she wants to go rogue and go warn Sydney regarding Toby's snake plans. In this scene, I was very proud of her. One part of me was like, okay, it's good that she's going to tell Sydney to kind of stir the pot and try to crash Sydney and Toby's coupling. But on the other side, I was like, ooh, Garbi, maybe you should have kept these cards close to your chest and not say anything. But she's damned if she did, damned if she didn't. So regardless, I'm still proud of her. So Garbi pulls Sydney for a chat, and Garbi tells Sydney straight up, he's about to switch up on you. And of course, Sydney doesn't take it well. She cries, she gets dramatic. She ends up telling everybody, which is not a surprise at all. Instead of her locking in and trying to be strategic and think about her next move, she decides to go the emotional route, just crying. Lucinda, interesting enough, says that Sydney needs to play the game better and get back at him. Vegas night is announced. They end up getting a text message that the boys need to go sit next to the girl that they want to couple up with. And the girls come and sit out first. And then here comes the guys. Here comes the guys. Oh boy, this was embarrassing. Toby and Casey end up fighting over the chair to sit next to Garbi. It's literally a tug of war between them two. Garbi literally has to put some bass in her voice and puff her chest up to tell Toby to leave her chair alone. This was so embarrassing. Sydney calls Toby a snake, saying that he should have communicated his intentions to her. Then again, Sydney, this is a competition. I don't know what else more someone needs to communicate than they want to hear from you. Let's win. I want to win. Not talking about your outfits and your wardrobe changes. Lucinda, who's always putting her business where it doesn't belong, asks Toby why doesn't he want to partner up with Sydney. Then he said that she doesn't believe in herself. And Toby said that she never believed in herself. And Sydney claps back saying that he never respected her. And side note, did y'all peep Toby's outfit? Toby's talking about Sydney is here to slay. No, it might be you too. Okay, so now it's time for the couples to compete in a 3-round casino inspired game. Each round, there's going to be a couple that's vulnerable. So first to go is Toby and Sydney. And this entire scene pissed me off. They decide that they want to target Garbi and Casey first. I feel like Toby and Sydney targeting the both of them to be the fall guys, that set the tone for the rest of the competition. Every other couple that came up, they used them as a cop-out instead of just focusing on other couples. They could have focused on Toby, Johnny, Tyreek. Instead, they use them as the fall guy. The only person who actually stuck the knife in and twisted it was Isaiah, which low-key didn't surprise me because I feel that since episode 1, he is in stealth mode. He's watching everybody's gameplay and he's going to react when the time is right. And I find it very interesting and very rich that before Toby and Sydney had to make their decision, they had a conversation among themselves. And Toby's like, okay, what do you want to do? Toby's first call was to target Garbi and Casey. And he did ask her, what do you want to do? And she's like, okay, whatever. Let's just do Garbi and Casey. So all of that being emotional crybaby and stopping filming and production so you can have your emotional moment and then to come back and not stand on business. Please, that was a waste of Garbi's time. I'm still proud of Garbi, but are we surprised with these pick-me's? Absolutely not. When Lucinda and Isaiah stepped up for their round, their reasoning came down to she didn't want to choose Josh and Andrea because they're best friends. I'm sorry, but I thought you were best friends with Kendall. I thought KK was best friends with Andrea. I feel like whatever girl that she can latch onto that is not Garbi is going to be her best friend. So it's no surprise to me that Lucinda and Isaiah end up targeting Garbi and Casey. So with round 1, Garbi and Casey are now vulnerable. So for the second game, it's some sliding disc and martini toss. Lucinda and Isaiah choose Johnny and Gabby. Tyreek and Justine, they choose Josh and Andrea. Josh then accuses Justine of doing whatever Tyreek does. When I say Josh came out guns blazing, he had the audacity to make that comment. And Josh, you would not have any of these problems if you coupled up and stayed with Justine to begin with. So then Tyreek tells Josh that I thought that you might want to see Kendall and Chris. Diabolical. So just from that round, Josh and Andrea, they are vulnerable. All right, so now that Josh and Andrea are vulnerable, we have the last round, which is a card game drawer. If you get a joker, it wipes all of your points out. So not even to go too much in details, Toby and Sydney pull the joker card first. How ironic. Johnny and Gabby pull a joker card as well. Lucinda and Isaiah vote to keep Johnny and Gabby vulnerable. Tyreek and Justine, this is more on Tyreek. He had this strategic plan to split the cards to create a tie between Sydney and Toby and Gabby and Johnny. So now that the cards are split and it's going to be a tie, it's going to be left up to fate because they don't know what the next roll or the next surprise or twist is going to be. And Toby's, of course, irritated because he wanted his best friend, I think, of 15 years to make a choice. So then with the tiebreaker, a card is pulled. Whoever is the lowest is vulnerable. Toby and Sydney have 7 points and Johnny and Gabby have 6 points. So the result of that game is Johnny and Gabby are now the ones that are vulnerable. So we have our 3 vulnerable couples. Garbi and Casey, Johnny and Gabby, Josh and Andrea. Ariana comes out and presents them 2 options. They have a fate wheel where it's like a Russian roulette. It's 50-50. If you land on red, you're safe. If you land on white, you're eliminated. Then the other one was an Islanders wheel where the Islanders end up choosing your fate. Johnny is warning everyone that he's coming for them. Whoever voted for him, he got his eyes on him. So Garbi and Casey end up choosing the fate wheel, the Russian roulette style, throw the ball in, and then the show ends on a cliffhanger. I was so annoyed about that, but I had 24 hours to let it go, and we're going to jump straight into episode 16. All right, so now we're back at the beginning of episode 16. We're going to find out, where does that ball spin? Are Garbi and Casey are going to be eliminated or are going to be safe? The ball ends up landing on white. They're eliminated. Do I feel a little suspicious? Absolutely. So with them being eliminated, I'm not even surprised. I think that Garbi gave us a beautiful performance in episode 15. I'm so proud of her. But by all that editing and all that camera time, it kind of was like, you know what? Let's just give her a big bang pow wow of an episode. Her exit, I just had a strong feeling that she was going to be eliminated episode 16. Everybody is saying the emotional goodbyes. Then Isaiah tells Casey that we didn't want you guys to go home. And Casey's like, why would you tell me this now? Again, they were the fall guys. It was an easy cop out for everyone else because everyone is too chicken little to focus on who they really want to get out. All right. So, of course, Toby got to go apologize to Sydney because he gave a performance. So did she. Sydney decides that she wants to put on her revenge bikini and get revenge against Toby. I'm sorry, baby girl, but Adriana will coin the term revenge bikini. Nothing more, nothing less. In Sydney's confessional, she just talks about how she deals with being doubted and people judging her. And she tells Toby straight up that she doesn't feel that she can trust or respect him. He just wanted to go for someone that actually cares about winning. She just talks about, you don't think that you believe in me. You don't think I'm a strong competitor. And Toby knows that he broke her trust and he's offering her an olive branch. And Sydney feels like their romantic connection is done and their friendship connection is done. So Toby's done in her book. Josh and Andrea acknowledges that it's them against the world. Meanwhile, Johnny and Garbi are getting their wake-up call that everyone wants them out the game. So Toby and Tyreek is so nonchalant about the whole thing. He's just saying that I knew it would work out in your favor. I knew you would win. Toby's not happy because he said, what if the gamble didn't work? He said that, hey, our friendship would have been done. He said that he doesn't trust him 100%. Tyreek apologizes. Toby is still irritated. And none of this is a surprise to me because it was going to be a matter of time until both of them start coming from each other's neck. So it's morning time. Sydney is dragging her heartbreak into the next day. Justine is consoling her, telling her that she needs to focus on proving herself in the competition. Toby tells Tyreek that he's frustrated that Sydney checked out. Tyreek praises Lucinda for taking control in the strategy, and he noticed that she was the one that was taking the reins and calling the plays over Isaiah. Lucinda then talks to Isaiah, saying that she doesn't want to target Josh and Andrea, but at the end of the day, they have to look out for themselves. So the bulk of episode 16 was just a bunch of conversations going back and forth. So the Islanders get a text message that the next competition will decide who the final 4 couples are. So the game, shoot your shot, round 1, the girls shoot basketballs. The boys have to run and get balls from the containers and steal it from the other couples. Whoever has the least balls, especially if you have a white ball, it's bad. Everyone unfortunately targets, well, fortunately for them, they target Josh and Andrea. So Josh and Andrea, they're at the bottom, and Sydney and Toby, they are the winners of that challenge. Now for round 2, which is the final challenge, the guys have to shoot, the girls have to steal balls from other couples. And the whole objective of this game, you don't want to end up with a white ball at the end of the challenge. So of course, the couples with the most ball automatically secure a final spot. Josh and Andrea's strategy was to count 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And at the last minute, throw that white ball into someone else's pit. Everyone sees Josh and Andrea holding on to their balls. The other couples are like, what is going on? So now they end up realizing that the goal was for them to target someone else. Andrea loses count. Josh loses count mid-challenge, breaking up their rhythm. The timing is off. Time is called, and both of them are left just standing there with a white ball. They're eliminated. This was such a silly strategy. This was not strategic at all. This was not smart. This was not smart at all. And I didn't feel bad for the strategy. I felt bad for them, especially Josh having that heartfelt exit speech about the motivation of him being here was for his sister. I thought it was bad timing and a bit poor taste for production to ask that question, especially after he lost. Again, Ariana has a script, but it's like, I feel that was a little insensitive. So Josh and Andrea, they go home, but Lucinda and Isaiah end up having the most balls, and they are secured a final spot. So the remaining couples are Sydney and Toby, Johnny and Garbi, Justine and Tyreek. America will now have to vote who goes to the finale. I voted for Justine and Tyreek. They get my vote 110%. But Toby and Sydney don't deserve to be in the final. Toby should have made better decisions during the course of this entire game. Sydney came in trying to lead with her looks and slay and all her TikTok lingo, which she should have been focused on that $250,000. And it's like when you see someone coming here just playing around, meanwhile you have KK and Garbi who actually wanted to play and win this game. They are the embodiment of what this game is about. But if Sydney and Toby makes it over Justine and Tyreek, I'm going to be sick. All right, so that's it for episode 15 and 16. The finale is tonight. And I'm a little apprehensive about this voting. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm really hoping that Justine and Tyreek pull through. But also, I'm aware that a lot of people don't like Tyreek, the tactician. Johnny and Gabby, I think truthfully, Johnny deserves to be there. No matter how you feel about Johnny, he's been playing the game. He's been the most strategic out of the guys, I would say, and he deserves to be in the final two. So, and I'm also curious to know if they're going to bring back the previous Islanders, if it's going to be left for America to vote, or is it going to be for the rest of the Islanders? I'm hoping that they don't change this format. So also, what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win? I'll be back here for the finale. In the meantime, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.